Joe, thanks for agreeing to talk to me about your lovely boat that you've got here. So we're offshore powerboat racing down here in Southampton with a few other guys, and I've been watching some of the action. But it'd be great to hear about the setup of your boat. So tell us what the boat actually is first. I see it says Quick Draw Marine on the back. Is that the...
Well, this is an E-class boat, which is the most powerful engines. You're allowed to tune them to any extent you want. And Quick Draw is a make of engine from America.
Oh, okay.
And they build them specially for 30cc petrol racing. So you're allowed to tune it to any extent you want. So the thing that makes this championship unique is, instead of racing on lakes and inland waterways, as you can see, we're on the sea, it can get very rough, so you need a very special kind of setup. Usually the engine has more power than you can use. Yeah, if I count up over the course of a season the amount of times you hit flat out, it probably comes to about 4 or 5 minutes across the whole season.
You're not on full throttle?
No, it's very much driving the throttle on and off all the time to match the water.
Right.
So you're trying to look ahead of the boat at the water coming and see the rough bits, so you can see where you might be able to squirt the power and where you've got to be more cautious.
Okay.
And finishing a 20-minute race, particularly today, is quite difficult.
And that's what amazed me. 20 minutes. You're driving the boat for 20 minutes. When I'm flying a plane, I'm doing for 6 or 7 minutes. So the concentration you've got to have.
Yeah, it's good. You have to pace yourself.
Yeah.
And sometimes they race for longer. Sometimes they're 45-minute races.
Wow.
So it's a great sport, very involving, and you finish mentally drained at the end of a race.
And it's all about doing the maximum number of laps you can in that 20 minutes. Right?
Exactly. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. They have a 2-minute dead warning time. So in that 2 minutes, you can circulate the course, and at the end of the 2 minutes, the race starts. So you try to time it so you arrive at the start at the end of the 2 minutes. Then you race for 20 minutes where they count your laps. And then obviously the one with the most laps or the quickest time for the laps is the winner. Yeah.
Okay, so I had a quick look inside the boat. There are a few things I wasn't expecting, so it'd be really great to talk through them. Obviously we've got the engine in here, which you were telling me was this.
Well, this is it's very much a tuned 2-stroke engine. Runs on petrol, 30 cc's, a tuned pipe. This one has a clutch and electronic ignition. And the electronic ignition is run by this box of tricks, which is like the engine management system.
Yeah.
And at the end of a run, that'll give you information about the revs, various places.
Because you were telling me you're using spectral receiver and telemetry module.
Yeah, in this box is all the radio equipment, including telemetry, which sends back live information from the boat about engine temperature and that kind of thing. So it gives you, particularly when you're testing, more of an idea of what the boat's doing.
You're not so much using that during the race?
No, occasionally you look at the information, but generally speaking it can be a bit of a distraction. So I usually get my
You've got to focus on driving the boat, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, you take your eyes off the boat, generally by the time you look back it's upside down. So fuel tanks is spread around the boat.
For centre of gravity reasons.
For centre of gravity reasons, and so that as you empty the fuel, the centre of gravity stays level. In fact, I try to have mine so that as the boat gets lighter during the race, the centre of gravity moves forward a little. And that keeps the stability of the boat.
Okay.
This particular boat has got adjustable trim tabs as well. So from the transmitter, I can alter this servo, and that alters on the back of the boat some little tabs.
Where are those? Can you show me where those are?
Black fins, if you watch those.
Okay.
And it's a small movement, but that subtle movement is enough to just get the boat trimmed. And of course you don't have the luxury of testing and then starting the race. And of course over 20 minutes the conditions can change. So
anyway.
It's very handy from the transmitter to be able to just quickly adjust the trim tabs.
And so you've got that for trim.
Yeah.
And you've also got the rudder.
Yeah, it's the rudder.
As well.
Yeah. And again,
the rudder moving at the
on the transmitter you can adjust the rates so that if you find the steering's a bit touchy,
the amount of physical throw.
Yeah, exactly. And you can pre-program those and just flick a switch and sort of adjust the sensitivity of the steering. Again, it's quite useful because in this conditions it's very easy to use a bit too much rudder, and again you flip the boat over. It only takes a second.
Yeah. And a bilge pump at the back there as well.
Yeah, this little lead here comes from the bottom of the boat through a filter to a self-priming pump and blows the water out there. So during the course of the race, it's constantly emptying any water that manages to find its way in.
Right. Okay. And at the front, you show me that airbag at the front, and that's the air that replaces the fuel that's gone through the engine.
Yes, exactly. Yeah. So it acts as buoyancy too, so that you know, if anything happens to the boat, the hatch comes off, it fills the water, it won't sink to the bottom with all your money with it.
Yes,
it actually floats around on the top though. So it's the last, it's the sort of safety mechanism of last resort, saves your boat from going to the bottom of the sea.
Okay. And the last thing you were showing me earlier, the hatch on top, the very clever system you've got with that, so that the air going into the engine, you're limiting the amount of water that actually gets into the boat.
So there's two things. You try as much as you can to eliminate water ingressing into the boat, but in the end you have to accept some will. So, and of course you have to provide air for the engine. So this is a little uphill slope, so that air easily finds its way in here, but water can't. It tends to drain out the back constantly. Inside it runs through this tube, and any water that does find its way in at least gets dripped into the bottom of the boat, where the bilge pump will take care of it. Also, if the boat turns upside down, and so you want it to stay floating upside down, this then becomes the important water level. If you had just a hole here, the water would pour in, so that's the water level when the boat's upside down, so it'll float for quite a while upside down.
And regardless of the fact that you've done that, you've taken all those measures, you've sealed it, you were telling me about the individual screws and everything that you've siliconed in place, you still get water inside the hull.
It just
seems, need a bilge punch.
It seems impossible to keep it out. In theory you shouldn't need the bilge pump, but in reality, the practical reality of it, it finds its way in, despite PTFE seals everywhere and silicon sealant and even a seal I've got around the lid. Yeah, you just can't stop it. So in the end you have to minimise it, accept it'll get in, and then deal with it by pumping it out.
Great. Thanks very much for talking me through it.
Yeah, thank you. It's a pleasure.
Good luck racing the rest of the day.
Thank you.
Thanks very much.